Hey guys, this is Spencer, and today I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to show you the recovery of a broken site. Now, if you look at this site, it looks like it might be okay, but if you actually look really close and start reading things, none of it makes sense, and there's all these things that are out of place. For instance, all these social links don't go anywhere. Email is that email@gmail.com. If you start clicking on links, well, that one's not too bad, but your menu disappears and it moves up here. And overall, there's just some confusing things going on that make it really hard for a user to use and figure out what to do on the site. Not the least of which is our featured images are completely missing. So I'm going to get started and get things set up, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to recover the site, which includes taking all of the information from the site, moving hosts, and then repopulating the site with a new theme, which we'll be using Divi 3.0, and upgrading everything. So I will be back momentarily. Okay, so we've just got logged in, and taking a quick look at the site, there's a ton of plugins. That doesn't really matter. Typically, though, what I would do is use something like Duplicator, which is on the site, and duplicate the site and then move it. But this one's got so many issues. It's going to actually be easier to go ahead and find all of the content, take the content off, and then by copying it, and then go ahead and just rebuild. Now, I'll show you what I mean here. So, for instance, we would go in and open up each post. Now, part of this also has to do with how much is on the site, which is not very much. But if we go in and we say, okay, here is one short section for a post. Here's some media images. Now, what we might do there is actually make sure, do these media images exist in the library? It looks like they could. Let's change it to grid mode. We'll get a better view that way. I think I see every one of those as an available image in the library here. So that part's going to be easy. So we can actually discard this page, the gallery page. This next one here, About Peak Machine, we're going to go ahead and just copy this information, which let's see what... I see some errors in the typing, and let's just go ahead and do these real quick and see. Now, if you're curious what I'm using here, this is Grammarly. It's a plugin for your browser, and it makes finding errors very easy, which I'll have to go back and fix some more. We're going to copy this and just open up a notepad and paste it. When I've already done this for this part, but we'll go ahead and make it, just do it like I'm doing it again, and we'll save as, and then we'll save it, and I've got a folder made for them. So this is the About Us. I'll replace that. And then the next thing to do is, we've looked at the posts. Might as well take a peek at categories. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Yeah, I'm not even worried about those at all. I know this section, yep, this is going away completely. This is going away. This should be going away too. Yep, that's going away. To save the media files, there's a couple different ways to do this. Because there's so few of them, I'm just going to open them and actually say save as, and then go to the folder I created, sort of a Peak Machine here, and just save them right there. definitely not the most efficient way to do this. But for a site this small, and just wanting to make sure that we don't end up with any of the problems, like don't inherit any problems with the coding and the theme or anything, we're just going to do it this way. Now these were our featured images. You can see they're a lot wider. And we've got this. I don't even think we used that anywhere, but I'm going to hang on to it just in case. And that's all of the media images. So just keep on looking down the list here. I don't think we'll be doing anything with this, but we'll take a peek. Yeah, we're not going to do anything with that. Let's take a look at pages. So what I'll do here is you can see I'm opening these all in a tab, and I'll just copy the information from each page into a text file. And a lot of these I'll be rebuilding anyways, but some of these I don't want to have to retype. For instance, this equipment list. And we'll just make sure we can see all of those pictures. Yeah, it looks like I can see all of those. So we're going to go ahead and just copy the text again, like we did with the About Us page. And we'll go New, Paste, Save As, Equipment List. I can't really read that. I'm a little far from my screen, so... and I don't see any other relevant information that we're going to need for the next site. There's nothing on a FAQ. So this went to a Google's doc form. We might use this. I'm probably going to build something new. It's going to be a lot better, so we'll copy it anyways, just in case. So we got that. Nothing on the home page. That's all in the settings area. I'll show you in a minute here. Full service machine shop. Not sure this will be particularly useful, but we'll go ahead and grab it too. Yeah, so some of these are just little quick blurbs that we could probably type ourselves a little easier, but I'll just I'll paste them in the same file here. One for the parts page. So this one was services, parts. And I think what ended up happening on a lot of these, the pages were never used. They were just put in as examples of what could be there. So I'm not too worried about losing any of this. And this one was projects. Okay. Don't need that. This is the same thing. So this looks like it's one that's built through the site. I'm gonna build a new one, so we don't need that. That's where we were. Okay, so we'll keep looking here. Now really what we're getting to is the settings with the theme options and seeing if, because anything on the front page is going to show up in here. I'll just copy this. It's actually like a little standard tag I use, and I've changed it up a little bit recently, so see anything there. Now to talk about this theme, I purchased this theme and it seemed to be working good at first. I had to call in the support to come in and change a couple things, and they're actually in Nepal and they're hit by an earthquake a few years ago, and they lost all my information that shows I purchased the theme, which I feel like is ridiculous. And so they just would stop. They stopped supporting it, and wouldn't give me any leeway on that. And at the time, I didn't have any money to repurchase the theme, so they kind of went to the wayside. And what we ended up with is what you saw at the first part of the video, where this theme kind of resets. And actually, I've gone in several times, and it for whatever reason, it will load its own default information in here. I'll have to go in and delete it every once in a while. That looks like all of the important stuff we're going to have. Now, we'll show you in another video, but I'll talk about it briefly here. WordPress actually has a lot of built-in functions for moving sites. So like I talked about duplicator, they also have this import and export function. And the only reason I'm not using those is because there's not really enough information here, and I'm going to be changing it so much. It's just easier for me to grab it and make my changes as I go. That being said, since I didn't find all this, I'm just going to copy it, do the same thing, paste it in the text file, call this one homepage, and then we'll grab all the relevant information down here and also do the same. Okay, so this is the first part of the video, and it's just grabbing the information. It's kind of a manual mode, quick and dirty. I will make another video where, let's say if we were going to move a much larger site or more complexly set up, what we would do. So you might be interested in checking that out, and I'll put a link in this video as soon as it's made. But for now, just hang tight for part 2, where I will be setting up the new hosting and getting the site ready to move.